This is CBC Here and Now.
Windy and wet to start the first half of the long weekend in the east, but the rest of the province looking at a gorgeous weekend.
40,000 people sign up for the Vax Pass and overwhelm the system on day one.
And businesses try to figure out how this will all work.
It won't be allowed in all places if you don't have your 2 shots.
There's an awful lot of demand, which is fantastic. That's what we want.
Running to get here, yes, because I did not want to miss it.
A vaccine movement on Bell Island.
Nurses spend 2 days giving doses to residents to increase the area's low vaccination rate. Welcome to Here and Now. I'm Carolyn Stokes.
And I'm Anthony Germain. COVID has claimed another life in this province. A woman from the Central Health Region has died, which makes this the 11th death in Newfoundland and Labrador due to COVID-19. The Department of Health says the woman was over the age of 70, and the news comes as the department announced 8 new cases in the province today. 2 of those are in the Eastern Health Region, 5 are in Central, and 1 is in the Western Health Region. There are now 112 active COVID cases in the province. 14 people are in hospital, and 6 of those are in critical care.
Well, thousands of people tried to download the new vaccine passport today, crashing the system. The province says about 40,000 people successfully created vaccine passports this morning before the online portal went down. To create a vaccine passport, people must link their vaccination record to the online app. Now, that system buckled today due to the extremely high volume of traffic. Government says the site will be back online shortly, though no word yet on exactly when that might be. Well, businesses across the province are preparing for the passport. Hundreds of businesses will be integrating the vaccine check into their daily operations. But as Here and Now's Garrett Berry reports, some are still scratching their heads over how it will work.
It's not the app, but it's application.
I'm going to come down here. I have to scan my ticket under my machine. I then have to get the money. I have to go count this to the customer. But I have to tell them, you're going to have to wait until I get a chance to come over to scan your codes.
Make no mistake, she wants everyone vaccinated. But she fears this is shaping up to be a lot of work.
I'm already short-staffed since the first COVID shutdown. I have been trying to get people to work since. So it's just physically impossible for me to do the job of 3 people.
Across town, exasperation.
I think this is the breaking point for a lot of us because it's just one more thing that we're expected to pay for. It's one more thing we're expected to do.
She says she can't afford to hire a passport checker, and other staff are already busy. So as of now, she figures she'll have to do it herself.
As a person, as a human in this world, I don't feel comfortable scanning other people. I do not feel comfortable policing other citizens. I'm not trying to be, a kooky anti-vaxxer. I believe that we have to do whatever we should do to make sure this pandemic goes away for everyone, but I just don't think it should be on the backs of small business in this province.
Businesses have the next 2 weeks to get ready, and many are ironing out the details.
But I don't think for us in particular it'll be as labor intensive as I originally thought it would be.
Rules say takeout customers don't have to be scanned. So here, he plans to ask for passports when customers make their orders.
There's been a lot of changes in the way we do business in the last year and a half. I think most of us have met them with a little bit of apprehension, but as we get into it, you learn how to deal with it. And I guess the same thing will happen with this.
And a bit more apprehension about having to turn customers away. That's why the town's Chamber of Commerce is asking people to be patient.
When you come across that employee who's standing at the door doing the best they can, especially as we get used to this over the next few weeks, is to be kind to each other as we all learn to live with this.
The passport will be required on October 22nd, and businesses here say there's still time for government to help them implement this program. Garrett Berry, CBC News, Gander.
With the lowest vaccination rate in the province, there's a push to get Bell Island residents to roll up their sleeves As Terry Roberts reported earlier this week on Here and Now, just 60% of Bell Island was vaccinated, well below the provincial benchmarks. Bell Island was the first stop for Eastern Health's new vaccine van, and 2 nurses spent today, as well as yesterday, giving out the shots.
The official launching of our new COVID cruiser. So we're launching our mobile unit to access areas that are showing percentage-wise that the vaccinations are decreased. So we started our pilot on Bell Island today.
This is the first time that we have done the van clinic, the mobile clinic. We have done satellite sites in the past, but this is the first time for the COVID cruiser. This is our pilot project. We're learning as we're going.
I was sat in the car waiting for the boat, and we had a bit of a tie-up. So the van drove by, and I was in the process of getting my second shot through appointments and whatnot. But when the van pulled up, I just seen it as a big convenience, jumped out and got it and had it done within 15 minutes.
You can wave us down, call out to us, get our attention. We'll be more than happy to stop.
I woke up early this morning and I heard on the CBC News that it was going to be the clinic on the island today. And I just came back from the store. I was at my friend's, seen the van, and now I'm here. I tried to get an appointment up to the Wabana complex, but they had no more appointments available. And I don't have a car, so I don't get back and forth to town very often. So this was my only option, and it's awesome.
So this is your record there.
Okay.
So it just confirms that you had your Moderna vaccine today.
The identified group in this area as low vaccination rate has been the 22 to 39 age group. So we're hoping to target this age group. It's really important with this variant that we get this age group vaccinated.
Don't worry about having any documentation, any MCP information. We can find it all on the computer for you.
This will bump the numbers up big time.
Our goal is to do this on a regular basis going forward. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
I can't wait for my next one. It's awesome.
They had a nice day yesterday for it. Not so much today. Lots of rain across the province, or at least across the Avalon earlier this afternoon. Temperature, that 10 degrees you see there, was actually after midnight today. Most of the day the temperature's been sitting in and around 6 degrees. As you head towards the west coast, Stephenville 12 degrees, and then up along most of the big land your temperatures have been sitting in the single digits today. So we do have an area of low pressure that is developing. We're calling this one a weather bomb, and that's because the low, it's a rapidly intensifying low, and is dropping about 24 millibars, which is just the pressure in less than 24 hours. So we're going to see that develop tonight. You can already see some of those heavier showers move off, but we're back into the showers right now. Wind warnings in place for the Bonavista Peninsula as well as the Avalon, looking at widespread gusts tonight, upwards of about 100 and 120 kilometers per hour, about 85 kilometers per hour in Bonavista. But as we head through the next couple of hours, this is what the wind is going to look like. Really ramp up tonight around 8, 9 o'clock, and then most of the night we'll be seeing gusts between 100 and 120 kilometers per hour. I'll get into the rest of the details when I come back.
Thanks, Ashley. The province's English school district sent a letter home to parents this week warning about some new online challenges that are making the rounds on social media. The trends involve students completing dares like the Tide Pod Challenge, you remember that one, putting laundry pods in their mouths. But slapping a teacher and vandalizing school property are also among the challenges. The district says such actions may be considered criminal and seriously impact the safeties of other people in the school. A district representative hopes the letter home will prompt parents to talk to their children.
What we know from the developmental nature of an adolescent's brain in particular, and throughout the lifespan, one of the last parts of our brains to develop is the prefrontal cortex, and that's where our center of judgment lies. We all have a part to play in the healthy development of our students. We engage with them and talk to them about the potential consequences that they might face when they make really poor decisions.
Churchill says he has heard of instances of vandalism in local schools. We'll have more of that conversation with him coming up in about 20 minutes on Here and Now.
Well, thanks to a partnership with Memorial University, Prince Edward Island is getting its own medical school. The program will have 20 spaces, all for PEI students, plus one spot for an Indigenous student. The program is a partnership with Memorial University in St. John's, which already has a medical program. Students in PEI will receive a degree jointly from UPEI and Memorial, with an emphasis placed on family medicine and general specializations. Now, the partnership with MUN is an attempt to help solve PEI's doctor shortage. Like this province, there are thousands of people there on wait lists with no family doctor. The CBC's Jessica Doria Brown has this report on why the partnership with MUN could be part of the solution.
For coming to be part of this historical event.
Prince Edward Island is the last province in Canada to establish a Doctor of Medicine degree program. But what matters most to the people of this province is what it'll mean to them when it comes to wait times and access to care. The hope is that those who study here will be more likely to stay.
It makes a significant difference. We know, the evidence shows that where people train, where they're most comfortable. They know the system, they know the logistics, they know the personalities, they know the health authority, and they're comfortable in that system. So we have a real opportunity not only to educate our own island physicians, but also retain and attract other unique academic healthcare providers that a Faculty of Medicine will be a real gem for UPEI to have as a retention institution.
The Premier says today's announcement lays a foundation for improved health care in the years to come. Almost 20,000 people here do not have a family doctor.
It's relatively easier to get people here at the beginning. It becomes more of a challenge to retain them here if the system isn't functioning the way it should be, if they're not given the opportunity to practice to their full scope of their interest, and they don't have a quality of life. All of those things go hand in glove. So I think, as I say, the work in terms of recruitment and retention maybe only intensifies because we have this opportunity looking into the future.
Officials with the university say it's not just about training more doctors, it's about increasing opportunities for research by working with other programs like veterinary medicine and psychology that could help make PEI a more attractive option.
All of these together will allow us to think of healthcare in a different way and attract more resources and more funding to do research here in PEI.
Today's announcement was several years in the making, but it'll be many more before we see the impacts of it here on PEI. With the first set of students set to start in the fall of 2023, they can be expected to graduate in the spring of 2027. But after that, they still need to complete 2 years of residency. That means those doctors won't be ready to take on patients or fill vacancies until 2029. Jessica Doria Brown, CBC News, Charlottetown.
An Innu woman in Labrador has been awarded the country's highest honor for volunteer service. Rena Panashaway helps people in First Nations communities file their taxes. In recognition of her work, she was recently nominated for the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers. Lieutenant Governor Judy Foote presented Panashaway with the honor on behalf of Governor General Mary Simon. Panashaway says she's helped about 300 people file their taxes this year. She says often people in First Nations communities don't file taxes and end up missing out on benefits.
Well, along with those wind warnings in the east, also a storm surge warning. We're looking at some seas anywhere from 6 to 9 meters. Don't worry, there's some nice weather across the province. I'll have those details too.
It can happen to you. I didn't think it could happen to me, but it did. And you wouldn't want your family or your friends to go through what my family went through in the past and still going through the past 8 months.
Recovering from COVID-19, Marion Travers spent 18 days on a ventilator and she didn't see her family for months.
Marion is still recovering but wants to deliver a message to those not vaccinated. Her story, that's Tuesday on Here and Now. Well, it's the Friday of a long weekend. Happy, happy times.
Yep.
Now, the weather isn't looking so great though, right?
Not for the east. I mean, there's plenty of sunshine for other parts of the province for sure, but we do have a really stormy start to the long weekend. Temperatures pretty cool as well. Let's take a look at the temperatures right now. Currently sitting at 6 degrees in St. John's. The only places seeing really the double digits are down along the southwest, Portabass, Burgeo, Stephenville, all reporting 10 to 11 degrees at the moment. And then those single-digit temperatures up across Labrador as well. Now, taking a look at the current satellite and radar, you can see a fairly nice day. We did see some cloud cover, though, for most areas in that onshore flow. That's why we're seeing those cooler temperatures down along the southwest. You're the furthest from that, so you're seeing the warmest temperatures. But we do have a rapidly intensifying area of low pressure just offshore, and that will really be our weather maker over the next really the weekend for eastern areas of the island. You can see we saw most of that rain this morning. From last time I checked, it was about 18 millimeters of rain was reported at the airport, and those showers have moved back in, and that will generally be the story as we head through the evening hours tonight. Now, most of the rain will be in and around the Avalon. The heaviest rain, though, will stay offshore, it looks like at this point. Yesterday, I was talking about how some of the models were pointing at 60, maybe 80 millimeters of rain, but it does look like that will stay offshore. We're still looking at the rain, though, through most of the night tonight from essentially Bonavista North all the way through to the Avalon. Either periods of rain or showers will continue. Otherwise, not a whole lot of weather happening. Maybe a few showers for the west coast. And then fairly quiet up across Labrador as well tonight. Just coastal areas may see a few spits of rain, but it will be a cold night. Lab City down to -5 again tonight. You sat around there last night. And then most of the island rather will be sitting between 2 to 6 degrees as the overnight lows. But those winds really ramping up. Northerlies 70 to 100 kilometers per hour, and exposed areas could see upwards of 120. So just going to quickly show you the forecast for tomorrow as far as those temperatures go. Going to hang on to the mid-single digits for essentially the eastern half of the island. And then significantly nicer weather as you head towards the west coast. 10, 11, 12 degrees is your daytime highs tomorrow with the winds out of the northwest, though about 20 kilometers per hour, and then a gorgeous day for most of Labrador. 8 to 11 degrees with some sunshine. Going to hang on to that chance of showers, though, in that onshore flow for the southwest. So we'll time things out for you for tomorrow. That area of low pressure going to continue to deepen offshore, but those winds are going to continue as we head through the afternoon. Eventually, the rain will taper to showers, but it'll linger through the day. You may see a few breaks in the clouds, potentially for the eastern areas of the island. Otherwise, a fairly quiet day tomorrow, like I said, for the rest of the province. And those showers will continue as even getting into the first half of Saturday or Sunday. Finally, Sunday afternoon, it looks like we should start to see a break in that cloud cover. Most of the island seeing actually clearing skies. Maybe going to hang on to some of the cloud cover in the east, but the weather will significantly improve. So as far as that rainfall amounts go, like I said, somewhere between 10 to 20 millimeters has already fallen, and we could see those amounts as well, some pockets of 10 to 20 millimeters for parts of the eastern areas of the island, even the northern Avalon as well. Otherwise, you're generally looking at a traced maybe 10 millimeters at the most from this system. So that's good news, but the wind potential is really what will take the cake in this case. So we're looking at those winds ramping up over the next couple of hours. Strongest winds picking up around 10, 11 o'clock. This is when we're going to start to see those gusts between 90 to as much as 110 kilometers per hour. And then overnight, still showing potentially 110 to 120 kilometers per hour. Now expecting those 110 kilometer per hour, or 120 rather, to be in the exposed areas. But take a look what happens all the way through Saturday. Still looking at those windy conditions between 90 to 100 kilometers per hour. Areas through central as well, though you're still looking at gusty winds, 60 to 80. That takes you through right even into Sunday. So certainly going to be a long wind event. And then the other thing to note is that storm surge. Those storm surge warnings in place. You're looking at high tide between 10 a.m. the first one. Then the second one, 10 p.m. Combine that with 6 to 9 meter waves. We could see some coastal flooding and some damage as well. So certainly something to keep an eye on as you head through the next couple of days. Certainly stay away from the coast, but I will get into the rest of the details as far as the long weekend forecast goes when I come back.
The English School District has some concerns about a potential social media challenge. Now, you may recall a while back there was a cinnamon challenge. Take a look at this. People around the world gulping a load of cinnamon and videotaping the results. And safety concerns got quite serious for a laundry pod challenge in which a viral dare challenged people to take a pod, put it in their mouth, and bite. And most recently, there was one encouraging students to damage or vandalize property at their schools. And now school authorities in the United States, Canada, and here in our province are warning about another challenge involving slapping teachers. All right, the message is there will be consequences. Richard Churchill is with the school district and he joins me from Clarenville. So Richard, what's going on with this slap a teacher challenge as far as we know?
Well, Anthony, what happened was the Newfoundland and Labrador English School District was made aware of a new challenge that our students may be seeing as they're engaged in various social media platforms. And we really wanted to get ahead of this particular social media challenge and engage our parents and caregivers and families because we value them as very much important learning partners with all the education that we strive for our students, and to let them know that some of these challenges have very serious implications,
right,
which could potentially be legal. And we wanted to make sure that conversations were happening at home as well as at school.
So let me ask you this, as an experienced teacher, you know, for that student, and I think we all know the kind of student I'm talking about, who may not be thinking about the consequences, but wants to be cool, for lack of a better word, how do you actually get the message through to that student that, you know what, you might not realize this, but slapping a teacher is actually an assault, don't do it. How do you actually, you know, overcome that need to be cool and impress your peers?
And Anthony, I think you hit a really important point that I think the social media nature of this this challenge and the other challenges that you referenced in the introduction, it's really getting students to develop the critical thinking skills and to improve their judgment when it comes to thinking about the actions that they take when they see these kinds of challenges emerge in the online world that they're in. And what we know from the developmental nature of an adolescent's brain in particular, and throughout the lifespan, one of the last parts of our brains to develop is the prefrontal cortex, and that's where our center of judgment lies. So as educators, and as well, the reason that we reached out to our parents and caregivers and families, conversation like this with yourself, Anthony, and for the viewers that are watching the news, is recognizing that we all have a part to play in the healthy development of our students. We engage with them and talk to them about the potential consequences that they might face when they make really poor decisions. And again, we have to teach them that, you know, the small moment in time that they might feel that they're seen as cool, or that they get you know, a series of likes on a potential you know, completion of one of these challenges, that could have far more long-standing I guess ramifications that would be much more serious. And we really need to get students thinking about that before they take really inappropriate action.
Right. So in the event these things happen, you're trying to get the parents to have a conversation with their kids first. Is that the idea here?
Absolutely. And you know, again, it's letting families know, because you know, we can't presume that that our families and our parents and our caregivers are aware that these potential social media challenges are happening. So we felt that the most preventative and responsible thing to do was to reach out, let our families know that this is happening, and also to know that, you know, it's not going to be tolerated, and there can be some very serious consequences that you would have to face by completing one of them.
All right, Richard Churchill, appreciate your thoughts on this. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Anthony. Thanks for the time.
Well, now that the municipal election is over, we'll be seeing some new faces at St. John City Council. Coming up, we'll meet one new councillor who made history in this election as the first openly transgender councillor.
It's really good to know that there are this many folks in the public that are supportive of seeing queer and trans people in office.
We'll speak with Ophelia Ravencroft coming up. Well, history was made in the recent municipal election. St. John's now has its first openly transgender councillor, and she won with nearly double the number of votes of her closest competitor. Joining me now is Ophelia Ravencroft. So congratulations on your win. You've had a bit of time now for this to sink in. It was a pretty definitive win with 44% of the vote. What do you make of all of the support that you received?
It was overwhelming and honestly somewhat unexpected. You know, I thought we ran a great campaign, and I thought that folks seemed to resonate with my approach to some of the issues that I was discussing. But at the same time as that, you know, I got calls from close contacts in the immediate wake of the results coming out saying, I got to be honest, I didn't think you'd do that well. which was a feeling I shared. It's really good to know that there are this many folks in the public that are supportive of seeing queer and trans people in office, and that are prepared to, put their votes where those beliefs are.
So you're not really the typical kind of politician. On your Twitter profile, you describe yourself as progressive, feminist, metalhead, the city's goth girlfriend, the one that looks like a witch.
So the last two are quotes. I won't name their sources, but if they're listening, they know who they are. And I just delighted in them. This is, I think diverse voices in politics comes in lots of ways, but the fact is that unusual times require unusual approaches, and I think that I can deliver.
Yeah, it's a very bold statement for your profile.
Fair.
What else do you want people to know about you?
I don't know. I think the progressive and feminist piece, at the end of the day, everything that I'm doing is kind of trying to move toward equity. And in the decisions that I make in here, and the strategy that I try to implement, and the way that I approach decision making within council, those are going to be that's basically my focus. In terms of who I am as a person, yeah, I realize I'm fairly unusual for an institution like this, and I've got lots of quirks which will come out in time, I'm sure, if they're not already visible. But at the end of the day, it's kind of, I'm comfortable being the person that I am.
And now you are Councilor Ravencroft. You've gone from being the one that makes the promises to now having to deliver on those promises. What do you think it will be like having to adapt your life to this new role?
It's going to be a lot of work, but at the same time, and I said this to my mother and I were talking last night, many of these issues are things that I kind of negotiate or navigate or deal with in my spare time, either as a private citizen who struggles with mobility in the winter, who struggles with public transit, struggles with food security, affordable housing, or as somebody who in working with different community groups or within an activist role or whatever, is kind of determined to find solutions to those things anyway. So in some way, this is just kind of taking interests that I've had for a long time and being able to put them into practice in this institution.
You made headlines during the campaign. You faced some personal attacks and some harassment online. You ran a bit more of a muted campaign because of that. How do you brace yourself now for the possibility of more personal attacks that so many politicians face when they enter public office?
When you're holding the office, there's obviously a considerable difference than when you're a candidate, because there are systems that are put in place within any institution to keep the folks that are within it safe. Looking at the fact that, as you say, many politicians have faced this within this before, and speaking with some of them, and people who've received threats, people who've received harassment on the job, and knowing that the city is going to be there to make sure that its councillors and its employees are kept safe, offers a tremendous sense of comfort, I think. So there's certainly that, but it's also, you know what, I would hope that, I think in some ways, the amount of targeted bigotry and hatred and the amount that everything was tied to the campaign, I would hope that the folks who came to me with those things would realize now that I'm here, I won, and that there are far more folks supporting me than are prepared to support what they're doing.
So other candidates also talked about facing harassment during the campaign. How concerned are you that this will continue, and at what point do you then start to question whether this job is worth it?
I'm not questioning whether it's worth it now. Listen, if I were prepared to drop out or to quit or whatever as a consequence of threats, I would have already done it. I had a determination to come in here to deliver something both for my community, the queer and trans community, but also for my ward and my city. There are issues that I want to see solved that I think too many politicians are not dealing with in the way that they need to be, and that I've seen kind of get backgrounded for a long time. So I'm here to make those things happen. Working together with this, what I think is in many ways an excellent new council with a lot of really fantastic voices, I think we can get some good stuff done. The job is definitely worth it, and I would just I would just suggest that, to those who would try and threaten me out of it or intimidate me, I hope I've demonstrated that I'm not easily scared.
And your first council meeting is coming up on Tuesday. What are your plans for the next 4 years? What do you want to accomplish?
Well, again, working with everyone. The number one piece for me, and I've said this throughout the campaign, is getting the sidewalks cleared in the winter. I've been living in St. John's now for about 14 years, since New Year's Eve 2007, New Year's Day 2008. And I remember trudging home from high school in knee-high snowbanks and so on the sidewalks. And in many cases, the situation is still not that much better, or not better at all. Getting that fixed for everybody is a high priority. Working with public transit to improve and expand areas of service and improve reliability and frequency and so on, I think is big as well. Improving accessibility around the city. These are all kind of points that I hammered home. Affordable housing has become a real key thing. I think recently with COVID and everything, it's exacerbated a lot of the inequities that we always see. So trying to improve the condition of affordable housing as well has become a real kind of high priority for me, and I'm hoping we can do something with that as well.
Well, Ophelia Ravencroft, it was nice to get to know you a little bit better. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Of course.
Welcome back. Well, we've talked before about tech companies hoping to turn St. John's into Silicon Harbor, and part of that involves promoting the local tech industry here at home as well as away. Well, TechNL has launched a podcast as well as a video series to feature stories about the struggles and the successes of the local technology leaders in our community that are helping to grow the industry. I spoke recently with the chair of TechNL and a local business owner. And tell me about this initiative.
Sure. The Newfoundland and Labrador technology sector is full of fantastic stories of innovation and diversity. And really the point of the Voices of Innovation podcast series is to put a big spotlight on what local entrepreneurs and local technology companies are doing here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and highlight that to people around the province, across the country, and around the world. There's a series of podcasts. They're released one a week for the next 8 or 9 weeks. And also there's a video series, which are all available online and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
And give me a sense of the timing. Why now?
There's a lot happening in the tech sector. It's a very vibrant sector. There's the Newfoundland and Labrador technology sector is about a $1.6 billion industry. We have over 200 membership companies at TechNL, and these are just less than 20 of the stories about these technology companies that are happening here in the province. So there's lots of stories to share, there's lots to tell, and really we want to attract more talent to the sector and get more people excited about what's happening here. There's a tremendous amount of talent for anyone who wants to get into the technology sector, any young students who are thinking about what to do with their careers, and also people who are thinking about a career shift or doing something different. So really we want to get the message out there about what's happening in our technology sector and really try to fill a talent void that seems to be here in the province, and which is kind of prevalent around the world for technology.
Now I want to bring in one of the stories you're talking about. Gina Picor is with Genoa, a company that actually works with some of the vessels behind us here. So Gina, what's your part in all of this?
So Genoa provides production detail design services to shipbuilding industries, and we started here about 25 years ago, and we started because we figured out that the internet could be very useful in the sector that we work in. And in the 25 years since, we've seen the tech sector really grow, and a lot of other companies find ways through technology to export. And so I'm here now and part of this because it's such an exciting arena to be in. There's a lot of companies doing a whole wide variety of things. There's very diverse things, and it's not just about startup, it's about companies like Genoa that are also about scale up. And I just think that it's a very exciting time to be operating from Newfoundland and Labrador using technology to serve the world.
Does it matter what particular sector that tech is in, because there's so many different niches?
Yeah, it really doesn't matter anymore, does it? And I think the COVID pandemic has really kind of given a push to realizing that. The whole world is realizing it. And when you look at the wide range of activities that are going on here and the people who are leading those initiatives, you can't really package them up into one single box. They are just across the board. There are companies that are introducing advanced technologies. They're really innovating things that are new. There are companies that are using available technology to find new uses for them and make their way into new markets. And then there's companies like Genoa that are using advanced technologies and driving them really hard to serve the customers that we have. So it's a very broad and diverse range of technology that's happening right here, and there's a lot of support and resources to make it happen.
All right. So Dan, how do you make sure that you attract other Ginas and other company ideas to actually be part of what's going on here?
Well, one way is telling the stories that already exist. That way people can aspire to enter those roles or see that for themselves. We want more people to get excited about the different roles in technology, and it's not just about programming. There's every company needs many different roles and skill sets.
Well, let me ask you this, Gina. Is this initiative, is it more about getting investment here, or is it about trying to attract people?
Yeah, it's about all of the above. So we need investment because all companies, whether they're starting up or scaling up, they need the fuel to do that. But it's certainly about getting people here. We're attracting a lot of young professionals who are eager to jump into the technology field. We also need leaders to come to Newfoundland and Labrador and help us to scale up, because there's a particular skill set around leadership when you get to that level. So I would say it's about all of it, and I will say that we're seeing more and more people coming here. The place where we are and the geography where we are, it's not a barrier anymore, not by any stretch. Actually, I would say it's the opposite. I think it's becoming an incentive for people to come this way.
Well, buying refurbished electronics can be good for the environment and easier on your wallet. But with the growing popularity of online marketplaces, there are growing instances of buyer's remorse. CBC Marketplace is testing products listed on the website of one of Canada's biggest names in retail. Asha Tomlinson reports.
So you'd go to turn it on and you'd get like nothing. You just get the plug sign come on the screen.
This refurbished iPad was a birthday gift from Joanne Nixon's partner, Richard. He bought it on Best Buy's online marketplace. But months later, it just stopped working.
Then we went to Best Buy in person and we talked to people that worked in the store, and they all said, oh, never buy on Marketplace. Big mistake, big mistake. It's third-party sellers and you never know what you're getting. We were pretty pissed off.
We've heard similar complaints from many Canadians. Thing is, Best Buy makes promises on its website that their refurbished products are grade A and like new. We put that to the test, shopped on their site, bought 12 refurbished devices from third-party sellers, and asked industry experts to weigh in.
Do you think that there were proper checks and balances in place then?
I think that people are selling these devices hoping that customers aren't going to notice.
The result? 5 devices had either cosmetic or functionality issues, like these scratches on this phone or the loose screen on this tablet.
The best way to demonstrate that is to press right here.
I hear it.
We went into 5 Best Buys with hidden cameras to see what employees would say about our issues. Most warned us to steer clear of refurbished items on their marketplace.
I personally don't buy from there because you don't know what you're buying, right?
Anything that says refurbished on the product, don't do it.
Best Buy says our investigation prompted another round of scrutiny. They say they're training staff and developing better product descriptions online so customers know exactly what they're getting. Meantime, we tell Best Buy about Nixon's case. They've now agreed to give her a new iPad. Asha Tomlinson, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, tonight, CBC Marketplace takes hidden cameras inside Best Buy stores for more of what employees had to say about third-party sellers. And for the full results of the team's investigation, tune into Marketplace tonight. That's 8:30 Island time, a half hour earlier in most parts of Labrador.
Time for birthdays and anniversaries. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to Paul and Doris Johns of Gander. Congratulations to Sam and Christine Hawkins from St. John's on their 54th anniversary. Happy 51st anniversary to Gordon and Sadie Parsons of Seal Cove, White Bay. Gerald and Stella Saunders are celebrating their 61st anniversary. And happy 53rd anniversary to Esau and Ruby Comden of Birchie Bay.
Happy 60th anniversary to Lloyd and Kathleen Snow of North River. Congratulations to Freeman and Maisie Brake of Corner Brook on their 63rd anniversary. Wishing Naaman and Doris Moland of Mount Pearl a very happy 66th anniversary. Happy 67th anniversary to Frank and Susie Young of Beachside, now living in Springdale. Best wishes going out to Ron and Ren Perry from Gambo on their 53rd anniversary.
Shirley and Len Hodder of New Bonaventure, Trinity Bay, are celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary. Wishing Russell and Linda Wells a happy 59th wedding anniversary. And congratulations to Ron and Lorraine Robbins, who are celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary to Marguerite and Brian Payne. They are celebrating 51 years of marriage. Clarence and Barbara Billard are celebrating their 59th wedding anniversary. They're from Curling, now live in Bonbay Pond.
Happy 65th anniversary to Shirley and Donald Boone of Bishops Falls, now living in Grand Falls, Windsor. Congratulations to Bill and Betty Hounsell of Labrador City, now living in Torbay. It's their 50th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Happy anniversary to Fraser and Patricia Dwyer. It's their 50th anniversary tomorrow as well. Happy anniversary to Margie and Lindsay Prince of Bishops Falls, who are also celebrating 50 years of marriage tomorrow. Happy 55th anniversary to Lloyd and Pearl Pittman of Stephenville.
Happy 50th anniversary to Jack and Jean King in Buren. Wishing Banfield and Eva Fudge a happy 57th anniversary. They're from Ramia and now live in Milltown. Happy 50th anniversary to George and Hazel Haynes in Port Union. Happy 51st anniversary to Lucy and Dave Lanning from Botwood. And anniversary greetings going out to June and Rupert Locke in Springdale. It's their 50th.
Happy 51st anniversary to Maud and Tom Hewitt of Bard Islands, Fogo Island. Now to some birthdays. Happy 90th birthday to Abe Pittman from Deer Lake. Birthday greetings going out to Dennis Nash of Branch, who is celebrating his 93rd birthday. Happy 90th birthday to Gordon Jones of Upper Island Cove. Wishing Catherine Lavalley McKinnon a happy 95th birthday. She's from St. Augustine, Quebec, and now lives in Bloc-Sable.
Happy 90th birthday to Percy Rideout in St. John's with love from family and friends. Happy 90th birthday as well to Desmond Malos from Gander. Happy 95th birthday to Andrew Keogh in Plate Cove East. And wishing Valerie Tilley of Somerville, Bonavista Bay a very happy 90th birthday with best wishes from her son Bruce, who recently retired from the CBC. Birthday greetings going out to Melvin Grandy in Garnish, who will celebrate his 95th birthday on Sunday.
Happy 91st birthday to Margaret Hutchings in Stephenville. Wishing Teresa McCann a happy 95th birthday. She's from Port-au-Port East and now lives in Steadybrook. Birthday greetings going out to Jane Dooley of Sweet Bay. It's her 99th birthday today. Happy birthday to Louise Sweetapple, who is celebrating her 91st birthday. She's from Glovertown and now lives in Gander. Happy 97th birthday to Mary Elliott from Mainbrook, now living in Corner Brook.
Wishing Marion Jeans in Gander a very happy 95th birthday, and birthday wishes going out to Susie Young. She's celebrating her 90th birthday. And another 90th, happy 90th birthday to Blanche Masters in Grand Bank. Happy 96th birthday to Susie Noseworthy from Pooch Cove, now living in Torbay. And a happy belated birthday to Reverend Lockley Fiander, who celebrated his 91st birthday last month.
Another fine crowd. Congratulations once again. So here we are, the long weekend, some nasty weather on the way. All the more reason, I guess, to stay indoors with loved ones on this weekend. So what's coming?
Yeah, for sure. For eastern half of the island, definitely. But there are some areas across the island that are going to see some fairly nice weather this weekend as well. Let's take a look at the future tracker. This is Saturday night. That area of low pressure is still well offshore, but we are going to continue to see those windy conditions for pretty much Bonavista through to the Avalon, and then even through Central you'll see some windy conditions through the day, and also the chance of showers. Now by Sunday the winds will generally continue for the Avalon, but as that area of low pressure continues to head a little bit further east, it is going to take the cloud cover with it. We may see some lingering showers through the first half of the day for the Avalon, at least the northern portion of the Avalon, but we should see some clearing skies as we get into Monday. Monday definitely looking like the best day of the weekend for the island. However, things will start to become a little bit more unsettled across most of Labrador, with the chance of showers still likely be scattered, but that chance still there for sure on Monday. And then eventually by Monday night, Tuesday, we'll see that chance of showers redevelop again across the island. Now, temperatures on Sunday, beautiful across Labrador, 14 to 16 degrees for you with all of that sunshine. Again, some showers possible for Lab West, but the island beautiful as well towards the west coast. 13 degrees for Corner Brook, and then you've got those temperatures in the single digits, and again, that's thanks to that onshore flow and that lingering shower potential through most of Sunday. Also, the winds, they're going to fall below warning criteria for the eastern areas, but they're still going to be gusting upwards of 60, maybe even 70 kilometers per hour through most of the day on Sunday. There's your Monday forecast. Beautiful. 12 to 17 degrees, certainly as you head towards the west coast. That chance of showers in there for Grand Falls, Windsor will be later on in the evening hours. And then cooler temperatures for Nain and all along the coast, really single digit temperatures, otherwise double digits again for Lab West. Now, as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, things will start to get a little bit more unsettled, looking at that chance of showers developing, like I said, but single digit temperatures, and they're not really going to move too much. Going to go from 6 to 9 degrees through the day and night for St. John's and eastern Newfoundland. And then for central Newfoundland, things looking pretty nice by the time you get to Tuesday, but a little bit unsettled on Wednesday with those forecasted highs in the low teens. Similar forecast for western Newfoundland, except you'll see the showers later on in the day, and your temperature hovering around 14 as you get into midweek. Went way too far there. Let's just go back so you can see Labrador. So eastern Labrador, you're looking at temperatures in the teens as well. As you get into Lab West, similar forecast. Now, yesterday I was showing you some sunshine. Unfortunately, things looking a little bit unsettled. But at this point, looking at gray skies and showers for your Tuesday and Wednesday. There you go. Ruined it, but that's the weather photo of the day. Cape Spear waves. Thank you to for sending that shot in. We love these photos. If you have any weather photos you'd like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Oh, another great one from Alec.
Yeah, he's great
Gorgeous.
at that.
Spectacular waves. More of that this weekend, I'm sure.
Yeah, more surf for sure, right,
Yep,
Ashley?
definitely. They just won't look as pretty as those photos because, you know, the winds aren't going to cooperate.
Right.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving Day weekend. That pretty much does it for us.
Yeah, we're off on a Monday, but we will be back on Tuesday. So hope you have a wonderful weekend.
See you then.
Good night.